I parked my 2009 Honda Accord between my cousin Nathaniel's Lamborghini and my sister Danielle's Tesla Plaid, already bracing for the smug looks and snide remarks. The annual Winslow family dinner in San Diego had always been less about catching up and more about comparing net worth. At 33, I was still cast as the one who never quite figured it out. Smoothing the wrinkles from my forest green wrap dress off the rack from Macy's, I picked up the wine I'd brought, a 2005 Château Margaux worth $2,300.00. Not that anyone would bother reading the label, they'd already judged me by my car. "Sophie, you're late," my mother's voice rang out from the front steps of her coastal mansion. "Still driving that same old car?" "Good evening to you too, Mom," I replied, forcing a polite smile. Inside, the usual suspects had already claimed their corners, Danielle flashing her new sapphire ring to anyone who'd look, Nathaniel bragging about his VC firm's latest win, Aunt Maureen critiquing everyone's weight and career choices with a flute of Perrier Jouet in hand. "Soph," Nathaniel called across the room, using the name I loathed. "Still hanging on to that little gig of yours? What is it now, freelance data entry?" If only he knew, my gig was actually my own AI cybersecurity company, Strata Sentinel, valued at $3,900,000,000. But I wasn't here to perform. Danielle chimed in, her voice dripping sugar. "I know a great dealership if you're finally ready for something reliable. They might even work with your budget." I set the wine on the marble counter. My mother took one glance and swapped it with something cheaper from the pantry. No one had even read the label. "Sophie's always been modest," she said with a tight smile. "Some people just don't care about appearances." I checked my phone. My assistant had just texted. "Press release scheduled, acquisition approved. You now own controlling interest in West Secure, the same firm Nathaniel was about to pitch to Monday morning. Oh, did you hear? Danielle's been promoted to Executive Associate Director," my father said proudly, "and Nathaniel's fund just hit $75 million, 0 cents in new capital." "That's great," I said calmly, sliding into my seat at the long oak table. "Truly impressive." "Sophie, honey," Aunt Maureen said, leaning in, "have you considered financial planning? You're not getting any younger." I smiled. "Oh, don't worry," I said. "Monday's going to be very enlightening." I suppressed a smile, thinking about the board meeting I'd led that morning. We'd just closed a $3,100,000,000 0 cents acquisition, our biggest yet, bringing our largest rival under the Stratus Sentinel umbrella. I negotiated every term while my family still believed I was troubleshooting someone else's software bugs at a small startup. "Thanks, Maureen," I replied, nodding politely. "I'll keep that in mind." Dinner unfolded as predictably as ever. Danielle recounted her well-deserved trip to Bora Bora, complete with drone footage and spa details. Nathaniel boasted about the new chalet he'd bought in Park City. My mother steered each conversation like a seasoned conductor, ensuring everyone's achievements got the spotlight, except mine. "Sophie's doing her best," she offered when someone finally asked what I was up to. "She's always taken the road less traveled." Different. That's how they described me. Because I chose to build something from the ground up instead of climbing someone else's corporate ladder. Because I'd rather reinvest in people and innovation than in handbags and horsepower. "At least tell us you're seeing someone with potential," Aunt Maureen nudged. "You're not getting younger, sweetheart." I thought of Daniel, the quietly brilliant systems architect I'd been dating, who co-founded 3 blockchain companies and was worth over $200 million, 0 cents. But we liked our privacy. "Just focus on work for now," I answered evenly. Danielle snorted. "Of course you are, and what's the name of this mysterious company again?" "Stratus Sentinel," I said calmly. "Never heard of it," Nathaniel said dismissively. "Sounds like one of those AI startups that vanish overnight." I glanced down at my phone. A push notification confirmed we'd just been featured on Bloomberg again. Headline: Stratus Sentinel reshapes cybersecurity market with bold acquisition. Danielle leaned in theatrically. "Anyway, guess who just got into the Goldman Sachs elite vehicle program? I'm choosing between a Bentley or a Maserati." Definitely the Bentley, Emma chimed in. Then, with mock concern, Danielle added, Sophie, why the Honda? Did you need help with financing? I let them laugh. Let them believe I couldn't do better, rather than realize I chose not to flaunt it. It's reliable, I said simply. Oh, honey, my mother sighed. You know your father and I could help you put something down on a proper car. I sipped my wine, thinking of my Malibu beach house. I'm fine, Mother. And I was, more than fine. Are you, though? Danielle pressed, her voice sticky sweet with mock concern. I mean, look at your outfit, your car, your whole situation. Don't you want more out of life? I thought of Stratus Sentinel's current market cap, of the 3,400 employees whose livelihoods depended on me, of the innovations we were building that would shape the next decade of cybersecurity. I'm content with my choices, I said. Nathaniel snorted into his Bordeaux. Content with mediocrity, that tracks. That's when my phone buzzed on the table beside me. I glanced at the screen. Angela, my executive assistant. She knew not to call unless it was urgent. Excuse me, I said, rising from my seat. My mother's lips pursed. Sophie, it's rude to take calls during dinner. I ignored her and stepped out onto the patio, where the ocean breeze felt like relief. Angela, what's wrong? Sorry to interrupt, Miss Winslow, she said quickly. There's a delay with the maintenance team in Dubai. They need your authorization before they proceed with the upgrades on the jet for your Singapore trip next week. I glanced through the French doors. Danielle was already whispering to Emma. A jet? Must be some delivery service her company uses. They had no idea the Gulfstream G650 was mine. Go ahead with the upgrades, I said clearly, letting my voice carry, and confirm the pilot files the Tokyo stopover for the investor meeting. The room inside fell silent. Even Nathaniel looked confused. One more thing, Angela added. Mr. Chin wanted to confirm your remarks for tomorrow's press conference about the MaxTech acquisition. Yes, I said. Tell PR I'll be reviewing the $3,100 million 0 cents announcement statement tonight. A sharp crack echoed from the dining room. Danielle had dropped her wine glass, deep red spreading like an accusation across her cream silk blouse. And Forbes is requesting your updated net worth, Angela continued. Should I send them the current estimate or wait until after the acquisition's public? Let's wait, I said. The stock bump should be interesting. I ended the call and walked back in. No one said a word. My father stared. Emma frantically typed on her phone, probably Googling Stratus Sentinel. Sophie, my father asked slowly, what was that about a jet? I took a sip of wine, savoring the silence. Oh, didn't I mention? I smiled. I'll need to cut dinner short. If you've ever dreamed of the moment they finally see your worth, don't miss what happens next. Tap subscribe so you're here when Sophie makes her next move, and the power shift becomes impossible to ignore. I have a flight to catch. The silence in the dining room could have shattered the chandelier above us. Danielle was the first to react, her wine-soaked designer dress forgotten in an instant. You're lying, she snapped, voice rising. This is a joke, right? I unlocked my phone and pulled up the Bloomberg app. Stratus Sentinel, market cap $4,200 million 0 cents. CEO, Sophie Winslow. I slid the phone across the table. Feel free to fact-check. Nathaniel's hands trembled as he picked it up. This can't be real. You drive a Honda. Because I choose to, I said simply. Some of us don't need a Bentley to validate our self-worth. Emma was still frantically scrolling her phone. Oh my God, she breathed. She's not lying. She's been on CNBC, Forbes 40 Under 40. There's an entire feature on her in Wired. My mother had gone pale. But why didn't you tell us, she whispered. All these years? I met her eyes. Would it have mattered? You never asked what I actually did. You were too busy praising Danielle's entry-level promotion and Nathaniel's boutique fund. Boutique? Nathaniel sputtered. I manage $75 million 0 cents. I let out a soft laugh. Adorable. I approved over $100 million 0 cents in R&D spend last quarter alone. My father cleared his throat, suddenly interested. Sophie, Maybe we can talk investments, now that we know what you've built. No. I didn't raise my voice, but the firmness stopped him cold. I'm not your princess anymore. That title disappeared the day you said I embarrassed the family for not joining Goldman Sachs. Danielle looked away, remembering that moment. She'd smiled as our father lectured me on how I was ruining the Winslow reputation. But families help each other, my mother said weakly. That's what we do. Do we? I asked. When you helped Danielle finance her Tesla, you told me to take budgeting classes. When you gave Nathaniel seed money, you called my business pitch a fantasy. Aunt Maureen, never one to miss an opportunity, leaned forward. Darling, now that we do know, you must join the country club. It's simply expected. I'll sponsor you myself, Aunt Maureen offered quickly. The same country club that rejected my application last year because I drove a Honda? I smiled, cool and unbothered. I bought it last month. Another wine glass clinked against the table. Hard. This time, it was Nathaniel's. My phone buzzed again. It was Daniel. Your pilot called me. Want me to bring the Aston Martin instead of the usual ride? I texted back. No. Stick to the plan. The Camry is perfect for tonight. Danielle's voice turned sweet. Too sweet. I knew that tone. It had always preceded a favor. Sophie, I've actually been thinking about leaving Goldman. Maybe we could talk about opportunities at your company. I tilted my head. You mean the little startup that'll be gone in a year? I repeated Nathaniel's earlier jab. Unfortunately, we're fully staffed. Emma jumped in next. I've always been interested in tech. Name one programming language, I said flatly. She blinked. Silence. My mother finally spoke. But your clothes, your car, your apartment, all choices, I finished for her. I could buy this house before breakfast. I could own any car you see in a music video, but I don't measure success by what I wear or park in the driveway. How much? My father asked, cutting straight to the point. What are you worth? I stood and smoothed my dress, still proud of the off-the-rack fit. More than everyone at this table, combined, several times over. My phone lit up again. Angela. R is ready, Miss Winslow. Singapore board is standing by. Thank you, Angela, I replied. Tell them I'm on my way. I turned to the stunned faces surrounding me. This has been illuminating, but I have a company to run. Wait, Danielle called out. You can't just drop this on us and leave. Why not? I replied. You've been dropping your judgments on me for years. I picked up my leather tote. Quiet luxury. Oh. And Mother? That bottle you shelved for cooking? It's worth more than Nathaniel's monthly fund yield. As I reached the door, my father finally spoke again. Sophie, be reasonable. We're family. We should discuss this arrangement, my father said, voice low and urgent. I paused at the door, glancing back one last time. The time for discussion was years ago, when I needed support. Now I didn't need anything from any of them. But we're family, my mother pleaded. Blood doesn't excuse behavior, I replied. You all made choices in how you treated me. Now you get to live with them. Outside, my old Camry sat waiting, steady and unbothered. Behind me, chaos erupted. Danielle's voice rose in panic. Nathaniel protested, rattling off excuses. Emma was already on her phone, trying to send me a LinkedIn request before I hit the driveway. As I eased away, I caught a glimpse of my mother rushing outside. Sophie, please, we can start over. I didn't stop. The next morning, the messages began. Danielle, hey sis, remember when I helped with your college applications? Good times. Let's catch up over lunch. Nathaniel, Soph, got an incredible investment opportunity for you. Call me. Emma, saw straight as Sentinel's hiring. Coffee soon? Then came the emails. My mother, darling, I've been reflecting on the beautiful memories we could still create together. My father, Princess, we should strategize on integrating your success into our family legacy. I forwarded every message to Angela with one note. Add to the blocked list. At the press conference announcing the MaxTech acquisition, a reporter asked why I still lived so modestly. Success isn't about what you wear, I told her. It's about what you build. The quote went viral. Text: secret billionaire. The CEO who drives a Camry. Danielle tried a new tone. I always knew you'd make it. Remember when I let you borrow my shoes? Yes. I also remembered how she told everyone it was because I couldn't afford my own. Nathaniel attempted to pitch his fund to my board. They marked it as spam. My mother suddenly became active on every entrepreneurial charity board in the city, carefully name-dropping her visionary daughter. My father used my name in business circles, claiming he'd nurtured my rise. The ones who knew the truth just smiled. Then, a month later, a thick white envelope arrived. Winslow Family Foundation Gala, Guest of Honor, Sophie Winslow, Tech Visionary. I sent back a simple response. Unable to attend, prior commitment in Singapore. In truth, I was right there in San Diego that weekend, working from my penthouse office while they smiled for cameras and rewrote history. Danielle gave a soft focus interview to the local lifestyle magazine, claiming she'd always encouraged her sister to dream big. Nathaniel told anyone who'd listen about our deep bond. The reality? They hadn't inspired anything but my drive to succeed in spite of them. Last week, Danielle was let go from Goldman Sachs. Budget cuts. She sent me her resume with a note. Family first, right? Nathaniel's fund lost its largest investor. He tried to schedule a pitch meeting with my firm's capital division. Emma's husband's business folded. Suddenly she was posting daily motivational quotes on LinkedIn about strong family ties. I didn't respond to any of them. I was busy doing what mattered, running Stratus Sentinel, investing in the future, and building something real. My Camry still sits between luxury cars in the company lot. It's become something of a legend here. A quiet symbol, a statement. Success without showmanship. Yesterday, I passed by two junior developers chatting by the coffee bar. Is it true the CEO's a billionaire who drives a Toyota? Yeah, one replied, and she wears Target and lives in a normal building. Why? Because she doesn't need to prove anything. They understood. My family never will. This morning, another dinner invitation arrived from my mother. Her note included a line about finally learning to store wine properly. I boxed up the same bottle she once shelved for cooking. A $2,000 0-cent Chateau Lafite Rothschild, and sent it back with a card. For your cooking shelf, I hear it adds excellent flavor to rejection letters. Because sometimes success isn't proving them wrong. It's proving yourself right. And the best revenge? Letting them witness it. From a distance, they'll never be invited to cross. As for me, I'm taking the Camry to the board meeting. We're finalizing a $5 billion 0-cents expansion. I might send them a press release. After all, that's how they've always preferred to hear about my life. If you've ever been underestimated, overlooked, or told your dreams were unrealistic, I hope my story speaks to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and let me know what part hit home for you. Your voice matters here. And if you're quietly building something of your own, keep going. You don't need applause to prove your worth, just purpose. Subscribe to join me on this journey where success doesn't scream, it simply shows up. Because sometimes, the best revenge is not shouting back, it's rising quietly until the whole world can't help but listen.